Welcome to DevOps Project Live Implementation. Okay, so project bus ticket booking portal using static web apps and Azure functions and storage account. Okay, it is a small application where you can able to book the bus tickets. Okay, so it will be deploying on Azure platform. Here technologies we are using static web app, functions, storage account, Linux function apps, ERJS and Python for frontend and backend, Terraform for infrastructure automation, Azure DevOps for Azure repository and Azure pipelines. Okay, let's see. So this is the architecture. Okay, let's see. So let me do that one. So yeah, yeah. This is the part 9 of our DevOps Project Live implementation series. Okay, let's see. Okay. So course overview, project title, bus ticket booking portal. Okay. So this part provides a simple and web-based bus ticket booking portal that designed to automate the process of booking the tickets for buses. Okay. So main goal is so you need to build a secure and scalable and reliable ticket booking management system that leverage the Azure cloud native services for higher performance and easy maintenance. Okay, let's see the portal. So it is a simple application where when you are open, so they are having a search buttons. There you need to enter the source and destination, and you need to search so that you can able to see the portals. Okay, let me see. This is the portal. So here you can see dates. This is the source and this is the destination. So customer can able to enter the details and he can able to search a specific date. So once he searched, the data, the travels will be getting here. So as far as travels, bus go and select the seats. We need to select the specific seat. So yeah, after that, so once it is holding, so you can able to confirm the ticket. Okay, like this you can confirm. So this is a front end application only. We didn't do much on this application. Why? Because so if you do many things means it will getting confused. So main agenda of this project is so how to use the Azure functions on Azure functions. Okay, so how to use the Azure functions. Okay, main purpose of this project is so how to use the Azure functions, how to utilize in the front end application. Okay, so this Azure function will process the slash book slash hold slash search slash cancel. Okay, these functions how it will be handling. Okay, yeah, let's see. So Azure resources and DevOps tools uses. Okay, front end. So it is a user friendly interface for booking the ticket. Okay, we will develop this front end using React.js. Okay, so we have Azure functions. We can develop the Python for backend support to front end app. Okay, that means so we have the front end application. So what are the so front end application needs some information. Okay, it will need to do some process. Okay, so that process will be do by Azure functions. Okay, these Azure functions are processed by Linux function apps. Okay, so Azure functions is stored in Azure storage account. Okay, this whole architecture I will explain you later. Okay, so for now, you just remember Azure function is having a Python backend. Okay, you need to write the Python backend, and you need to write the path. You need to route the traffic. Okay, so Azure Linux function apps. Okay, so this it is one of the function apps. So it will be based upon Linux. Okay, the name will be come from Azure Linux function apps. Okay, so function apps it is executed as a task in Linux function apps. Okay, so whenever you have written a code, so you have a function of code. See, yeah, so you have the code. This is the code. So when a cut the front end, they will try to hit the slash service. Okay, this is the front end code. So this code is saved in, yeah, this code is stored in Azure storage account. Okay, so when the function is you having in this function, so when front end is hitting, so this specific you have a slash book, right? So this specific function will be processed by the Linux function app. Okay, So it will be executing and run the task. Okay. Yeah. So Azure Linux function apps will be processing your data. Okay. Store your account. So these help us to store the Azure functions. Okay. Yeah. We have static web apps. So it serves the front end application to the global users. Okay. So we have Azure DevOps. So we use as a Azure repository and Azure pipelines uh, that will trigger pipelines for your both front end and back end applications. Okay. So we have Terraform. Okay. This will be help for provisioning your Azure resources. Okay. So what you will be achieved at the end of this course? Okay, you can able to develop the front end and back end applications. That means you are able to develop React.js and you can able to develop the Azure functions. Okay, with the help of a Python. Okay, I will show you how to create the Azure functions in locally, then how to deploy in the Azure functions in the story account. Okay, so you can able to learn the how to write the Terraform script that will provision all these things. How to provision these static web app, Azure functions, Azure Linux function apps, and Azure stat store account, and miscellaneous like app inside like that. Okay, we can use Azure functions, static web apps and storage accounts. Okay, so we can learn how to write the Azure pipelines for build and deploy. Okay, and also infra pipeline and cleanup pipeline also. Okay, so you can able to learn the real time DevOps project for this portfolio. Okay, so main agenda of this part is to do you need to learn how the front end will be communicate with Azure functions. Okay, so how to build and deploy your application. Okay, yeah. Okay, before that, let me introduce about myself. So I am Prasanna Kumar. I have overall 15 years of experience. I have worked on different kind of jobs roles. So currently I'm working in one of the topmost MNC company. So I have working experience on different kind of projects, that is banking, automobile, travel and transport, medical care, telecom domain, and big four companies. Okay, I have multiple certifications. So AWS DevOps certification, Azure DevOps certification, and AWS and Azure based fundamental certification. Let's start live implementation. So let's see the architecture and tech stack walkthrough. Okay. So these are the components of Azure this project. Okay, let's see. So I'm opening separate photo. Okay. So that it will become a good understanding. Okay. So architecture of bus booking portal using static web app, Azure functions and storage account, and Azure DevOps and React.js and Python. Okay. Let's see. So first, developer will develop front-end application and he will develop the Azure functions in his locally. So I will show you how to create that functions also. So once the code is ready, he will push changes to the Azure repository. Okay. So in the Azure DevOps, based upon our configurations, so pipelines will be triggering. So we have infra pipeline. So it will use the service connection. It will use the service connection, and it will provision all these resources. Okay. So this will deploy resource group. This will deploy a static web app, and this will deploy Azure Story account, and this will deploy Azure function app. Okay, and also this will deploy Azure app insights. Okay, so let's see verify. So I already deployed all the resources. Yeah, so this will deploy app insights and app service plan, static web app, function plan, and the story account. Okay, this is automatically it will create in global level wise for app insights. Okay, so you can ignore that one. So let's see the workflow. Yeah, so we have all these components. Okay, with the help of a infra pipeline, we all deployed this one. Okay, we have build front end, we have front end pipeline and we have back end pipeline. Okay, so with the help of front end pipeline, so we'll build the front end application. We'll deploy in static web app. Okay, now static web app is up and running. Okay, this static web app can be accessed through global users if you done a public DNS. Okay, if you do some customized configured public DNS. Okay, or else you can use a dynamic DNS also. Okay, so that will be accessed by global users. Okay, it should be look like this one, this portal. Okay, okay. Now the front end is completed. Now come to backend. Oh, okay, we have backend pipeline. So backend, so this will build your application and publish the generated artifacts and push to the Azure story account. Okay, so this is the location where all the Azure functions will be storing. Okay, so each function app will having its own story account. So I have created a separate story account where function apps will be saving here. Okay. So once a story account is created, so after that we need to update. Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, this is the task you need to perform. Okay. So deploy zip file to Azure function apps. Okay. Yeah. So you need to give function app name. Okay. Function app name. Yeah, you need to create the function app name. So if you give the function app name, so the associate it will associated with the Azure story account. It will be storing in associated story account. So you can see the Terraform code also. So where we need to integrate the story account to the corresponding Azure function app. Okay. Yeah, you can see this is the Azure ARM Linux function app. So this is the storage account. So it is integrated. So while deploying, we need to give the function app name only, so that it will be deployed in its associated storage account. Okay. So now the code is accessible. Now code is stored in storage account. Okay. So once it is storing, so Azure Linux function app, this will be processed. It will integrate to the storage account. The code will be processed by Linux function app. Okay. So let's go to Linux function app. So just verify. Yeah, this is the function app. Yeah, click that one. It is a Linux based function app. So here you can see this is the one. This is the one function. 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 Okay, you have multiple functions. Okay. So this function will be triggered when front end will be hitting to the corresponding request. Okay. Let's see. So we have front end. So front end user will try to hit a slash book or slash service or slash search slash hold slash cancel. If he perform any operation, so that will be reached to direct to app service. Okay, directly to function app. Okay, so that will be deployed in app service. So that will be call it as a Linux function apps. Okay, so simple name Linux function apps. Okay. Yeah. So when they will trigger, front end will be triggering. So it will be the path will be routing to a slash book. So it will be then it will be processing the data. Okay. So the data based upon you have written the code, the code will be processed. It will be executing specific step. Okay. So now here we have search button. This is one path. This is yeah. This is one path. Select is one path. Yeah, yeah. Whole is one path. That means one API. So clicking whole is also one function. So confirm book. So book is one function. Okay, canceling the booking. Canceling is one function. Okay. So these are separate functions. So what you need to understand is so how the front end will be integrated to Azure functions, how the data is processing. Okay. So the main agenda of the class is how the Azure functions will be working for your application. Okay. So this is a simple application. You have only front end and back end. So I didn't integrate it to DB. So I thought that it is a minimal integration is needed. Okay. Yeah, this is how flow will be happening. So front end user will be hitting public URL. So in the public URL, there will be some data is there. So when they will hit some specific route, so the traffic will be routed to the public Azure Linux Azure function apps. So then the specific specific function will be processed and execute. The data will be sent to the back to the customer. Okay. So if I integrate the same Azure function up to DB, the DB will be processed. Okay. The same code I already given to here. It's here also with the DB and with the DB also I given. Okay. This is the workflow, and I have already integrated with the app insights also, so that you can able to understand how the functions are executing. Okay, okay. Let's let's go to how to implement this one. Okay, let's see. So let's go to how to install the environmental setup. So as I discussed in the previous slide, so all steps are same except few of steps. So here you need to install the Python. Okay, the process is same. So go to portal. Here you can install directly Python. Okay, we have official website. Sorry, the official website for Python. So you can download and install. So once the Python install is completed, so then you can install some pre-request tools, that is Azure function app tools. Okay, I will tell you how to install that one also. So that is a part of a local development. Okay. So here first of all you need to procure the Azure subscription. You need to create a ADO organization. Okay. After that, if required, you can create Azure pipelines, or else you can use the existing Azure based pipelines only. Okay. So you need to create Azure service principal and you need to connect to service connection. Okay. So once you heard all the things are done, you can able to create a Azure repository. You need to create a front-end and back-end and ISC folders. After that, you need to follow the standard naming conversation, and after that, you need to create a Terraform backend setup. So these all are prerequisites. Okay. Yeah, once you have completed environmental setup, so it's time to create a front-end and back-end application. So first of all, you need to download a Git repository. So after that, you need to create a front-end development. After that, you need to create a back-end development. First, see the front-end. So I already told you front-end is very simple. NPX create React app and you need to give the app name. So for now, we will give the slash front-end, so that all the data will be stored in slash front-end only. Okay. So let's see that one. Yeah. So and also we need to create a backend development. So this I will tell you. So for front end, let's see the front end code. So go to front end code. So this is a Vita flavor. Okay, it's not a normal React.js. This is a Vita flavor code. So go to SRC. Here we have env. So you go to SRC. So app.ts. TSS. This is the main folder. This all CSS. Okay. So this is the main folder. The code is importing to uh, importing from search page. Okay, go to components. You have two components: search page and sheet layout. Okay, this is the sheet layout. Okay, search page. Okay, here having a multiple function. So search page, on search, on hold, on book, on cancel. Okay, so this is the CSS folder. Okay, so these all sub functions will be work under search portal. Okay, once the search page is created, under that all data will be processing, like selecting seats, holding tickets. So hold seat. Yeah, hold is created. So confirm and book. So I need to click. So this all things will be processed from this code. Okay, the seat map. Okay, this is the seat map laying file. Yeah, this is all about the front end application. So now come to back end application. This is Vita flavor. Okay. So if you don't know about Vita, So no, don't worry. You just simply copy this one and you can download and you try to execute. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to backend. So backend development. Okay. So in order to create a functions, so you need to create a first of all you need to create a local setup. Okay. So first you need to create the functions locally. So go to backend. This is the backend. So private directory is function apps.py, host.json, and local settings.json, and requirements.tx. Okay, yeah, yeah. So in order to create that file, you need to pass this one function init under your folder name and worker runtime Python. Okay, I'm using Python. If you are using any some other like AngularJS or .NET or Java, you can use that corresponding language. Okay, right, and I'm using so Python only. Okay, so function will be initializing with the specific folder name and with the specific language Python. Okay, so model you are using is latest model version 2. Okay, we have version 1 also, so that is older version. So we are using new version. So once the it is created, so that will create this all one host.json, local settings.json, requirements.json, function app.py. Okay. So it should be all should be empty. Okay, it will create only this one only. So after that, we need to create remaining part. Okay, let's see that one also. So after that, we need to create a function. Okay, for that purpose, function C new template HTTP trigger slash name book. Okay, so with this command, this will creating wait that is slash book. Okay, so that will create this specific one. Okay, so I have modified this code. So that will create this part. Only this part only that will create. So rest of the part you can write your own code. Okay. So like this you can create n number of functions. Here we have functions called cancel, so book, hold, search. Yeah, these all functions we have. Here that is route maps and functions we have. This is the local function. Again, not using. So currently when I try to connect to SQL, so you need to use this one. Okay, so this will establish the connection between SQL. Okay, currently I'm not using DB, so that I'm just ignoring that one. These four, yeah, these four routes will be creating. These four APIs will be creating. Okay, here you will be call it as Azure functions. Okay, so with this Azure function part is completed. Let's walk through the code. Okay, so these will get connections. Okay, that means so if you are using DP, so that will this will establish this connection. Okay, secure connection. So but we didn't mention any DB and we didn't mention where to connect. Okay, simply you can ignore this one. So this is the actual one. This is the actual code. So it will import Azure functions, logs, OS, UIC, date time, MySQL, JSON like this. After that, this is the entry point for your code. Okay, functions dot function app. Okay, this is the entry point. This is the local function. You just ignore this one. We are not using anyone. So this is the starting one. This is the starting. Okay, so API dot route equal to you need to give the function name and this you need to give some authentication level annoying. Okay, some method you need to give. You need to give the route and method. Okay, so after that you need to define the name of your function. Okay, so after that you need to write the code. This is the code. So this code will search your uh, from to. Okay, so source and destination it will be searching. Okay, okay, after that you have route hold. Okay, so this will be processed by this data. Hold means that will be hold the specific seat will be holding. Okay, so book will be searching the specific source and destination, and that will be showing the travel will be showing. Okay, so hold will be it will be holding the seat. Okay, to execute to block the specific seat we are using this whole task hold route. Okay, after that book path. So this will be creating blocking your specific seat with the help of a hold ID. Hold. Okay. So once you are holded, so that ticket is blocking for specific customer. Okay. So after this cancel route. Okay. This will help us to cancel your created t- created ticket. Okay. And updating that sheet is available. Okay. Okay. This is the main four functions I have written. This is the minimal one only. So if you write a multi-level architecture, then you can write a whole, you can split this into multiple codes. You can write multiple Python codes, you can import from there and you can utilize in your code. Okay, right now I have included all things in the main file only. Okay, so once the development is completed, so after that you can test your locally. Function start. Yeah, so I have written, I forgot to here. You can see start. So that function will be starting working in locally. Okay. So now the function is started. Front end also up and running. So we have integration, right? Yeah. Go to integration, go to front end. So we have environment where you need to update your backend part. Okay. Currently I updated with my original one only. So you don't require this one. For locally, you just click localhost only, localhost slash port which it is running. Okay. So like this, you can able to communicate how we have done in here. Okay. Yeah. So with this front end and back end application is completed. So let's see the back end. You have forgotten something. So this is the about function app.py. So we have host.json. This is the project directory while creating. So these four files will be created default only. Okay. This is some local dot setting.json. So that means if you need to pass any key values, you can pass here. Okay. Yeah. So requirement is if you need some specific packages, you can mention that one package name and version. Okay. So here I just require this one only so that I have given this specific names only. So like this, if you are given, so with this backend is completed. Okay. So now we need to deploy this front end and backend application. Okay. So we have completed, we have developed front end, we have developed backend. Okay. Let's go to Terraform code. So let's go to how to create this all one. Let's deploy this our front end application. So till now we have completed front end and back end. So let's move to create the Terraform code. Okay. So let's see the code. So what are things we need to create in that with the Terraform? So we need to create a static web app. So we need to create a Azure functions and service plan. We need to create a Azure story account. Okay. So to this we need to create a app insights. Okay. Yeah, let's see. So first of all, we need to write the Terraform code. After that, we can arrange this code as a correct project structure. Okay. After that, we need to configure the Terraform backend that will store your TF state files and log the resources. Okay. So that this will be help us to version your resources. Okay. So if you are working multiple members, it won't have a conflicts. Okay. So we need to create Azure service principal and establish the service connection. We need to utilize in the Azure pipelines. Okay. So after that, we need to create a Azure pipeline. We have infra pipeline and we have cleanup pipeline. Okay. Infra with the help of the infra pipeline. So all resources we creating. Okay. So after that, we need to verify all the resources. Okay. So static web story upon functions and Linux function apps. Okay. So once the workflow is completed, once you are tested end to end, then you can delete with the help of a cleanup pipeline. Okay. Let's go to Terraform code. So this is the project directory. So we have main.tf, we have output.tf, we have provider.tf, we have readme, we have variables, and here we have dev, we have key values. So in the backend.tf parts, where we are storing the backend details. Okay. So dev.tf parts, where we are storing all the dev related environment variables. Okay, key values. So you are passing all the details like project, application, environment, and location, log code. Okay, all the things. So right now we don't have DB. Okay, just ignoring this one. Just ignore that one. Okay. So let's go to main code. Yeah, this is the overlook of the code. Okay, let's start from code. So we need to create static web app to deploy your front-end application, and you need to create a Azure Linux function apps. Okay, this will process your Azure functions. Okay, so we have functions in this is the functions. So that function should be stored in Azure storage account. Okay, this also a part of a Linux function only. This will be integrated. Okay, yeah, these all will be all will be created with the help of info pipeline. Okay, I will show you that one how to create. Okay, let's see the code. So this is the name standardization purpose. We are creating this local. Okay, so we are creating resource group. So this will create a static web app. Okay, so this will create Azure storage account. So Azure storage account. So what is Azure storage account? So this will be helping to store your artifacts or your files or your anything. Okay, so let's go there. So let's see what is storage account. This is the storage account. So we can able here we can able to store your data. Okay, it's like files. Yeah, here we have containers. Okay, so you can see here file shares, queues, tables. Okay, all things you can the data. It is a like a data storage. Come to containers. Okay, yeah. So here you can see. So all files are saved here. Okay, search, book, cancel, host, all things are here. Okay, book.json. So this is in the under format of JSON. Okay, this is converted. This is convenience purpose. Okay, so simply, so this storage account will be saving your code, and this storage account will be processed by your your Azure functions. Okay, and also I already told you this storage account is integrated with function apps, right? This is the function apps. Okay, so this will be integrating. So integrated with the storage account. So here you can see. So all these the functions all we have. Okay, app files. Yeah. So where you can able to see your code. So this code will be stored in your own storage account. This is the host.json. This is the function app.py. This is requirement.py. Okay. So from storage account we can't able to see much code. From here only we can able to see. Why? Because this is under read mode only. So this data will be processed by this Linux. Okay, you can see the operating system. This is the Linux. This is the Linux operator. So when you try to click book, so I will tell you how the code should look like. So this is the code look like. Okay, logs. Okay, so here you can see. So when a change is when you try to trigger in the front end, so if it is having a route book path, so then it will be hitting the here you can check the processor data. Okay, yeah. So the full end to end we can see, we can check in the at the end of this one. Yeah, here you can see. So trigger, HTTP trigger. So when it is triggered, this function will be processed. The output will be returned to output. Okay. So input data will be come from static web app. Okay. Click that one, HTTP trigger. Yeah. So route template is book. So then the traffic will be routing to this specific function. Okay. We already integrated this function app to static web app using a env file. Okay. So where backends will be routing to your backends will be routed with the help of a that env file. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to the code. Okay, we have created the Azure story account. Okay. So after that, we need to create a service plan. Okay. So I already told you. So this is a Linux based function app. Okay. So that you need to create any function app, any app services. You need to create a service plan. Okay. We have created a service plan. Okay. So after that, we have created an application set so that you can able to check the all the logs. Okay. This is mandatory. You need to give. Okay. This is the main code. Okay. Yeah, this is the main code. Okay. So where you need to integrate with the service plan, and also you need to integrate your story account. Okay. The site configuration, you need to mention the Python version, and you need to integrate the app inside also. Okay, like this, integrated, and you need to integrate your story account also. Okay, app setting. Okay, yeah. So like this, you need to integrate. Yeah. So once the all users are provisioned, the help of a pipeline, so front end will be deploying static web app. So backend, with the help of backend pipeline, with the help of backend pipeline, you can deploy your function apps in a corresponding Azure Linux function apps. Okay. So all the data will be stored in storage account. Okay. So and also there is some data processed logs also will be stored in Azure storage account. Okay. So that also you can able to see. Yeah, this is the overview about the code. Okay, let's see how to deploy our front end and back end application with the pipelines. CI/CD pipelines with Azure DevOps. Okay, so we will write our all pipelines with the help of YAML only, YAML based only. Okay, so here we have four type of pipelines, infra pipeline. So this will provision our infra resources using Terraform task. Okay, and we have Terraform pipeline. So this will build and push the artifact into static web app. Okay, this will build and publish to static web app. So we have a static web app web token that will be that I have updated in the library section. Okay, so we have backend pipeline. So this will deploy your artifacts to the app function app. Okay, so let's see. So we have three pipelines. Infra resource. This will provision all your infra. Okay. We have front end. So this will deploy our front end to corresponding static web app with the help of a web token. And we have backend pipeline. So this will deploy your generated zip file to corresponding story account, which is associated with Azure function apps. Okay. Yeah. This is what about backend. Let's see how to create all the things. Yeah, this is the infra pipeline. So I already told you this is a standard for this infra pipeline is standard for all projects. So some projects it will vary. If you have dev QA pro, so I have split it into multiple tasks. Okay, the rest of the things are same. Okay, so this will install the Terraform tool. So this task to initiate your Terraform code. This task will be validating your Terraform format. Okay, so this task will plan your Terraform code. Okay, so this plan will execute will deploy your actual Azure resources. Okay, so this is all about Terraform. Once you have provision with the here, you need to go here. You need to create the pipeline. You need to create the pipeline. So once you have created, so you can check the all the features. you can check all the resources. So from my end, it is all resources are created. Linux function app, story account, so app insights, so static web app, resource group, service plan, all is created. So once it is created, you can go to resource group. So the naming conversation will be like this. Okay, this is standardized format I am following. Okay, so here all resources are created. So this application set, this is a global level location. I mean, this will be creating in your application, and this is a action group. It will be creating when app inset is created. Okay, these both are associated only. So this will be created defaultly. I no need to create separately. Okay, let's see what are the components need to create. So static web app, Azure Azure function apps, and Azure story account, and resource group, and app insights, and this is a service plan. Okay, so app service plan, static web app, functions, story account. So this is all about app insights. Okay, these two is okay. Let's open a new one. Yeah, this is the static web app. I already deployed. I already told you. This is the Linux app. Okay, app service. This is the static web app. Your frontend is deployed here. Okay, this is the DNS of this application. So I already opened this page. Jolly Sand. Okay, this will be taking dynamically. Okay, if you need static one, you can create and you can attach this that DNS to uh, static web app. Okay, so custom domain here. From here you can create. Okay, uh, you need to pass some customer domain. Okay, so for that purpose you need to purchase your URL and you need to update here. Yeah, so once you create a static web app, then you need to go to story account. Use the story account. So all code will be storing here. So close. I'm not able to view. So the browser. So browse containers, view files. Okay. So this all be a processor data details it is restoring. So storage mover. Yeah. This is all about the story account. So story account created, function app is created. This is the function app. So under that we have multiple functions. So book function, cancel function, hold function, and search function. Okay. So these four functions will be process the data with the help of a HTTP trigger. So this trigger coming from frontend. Okay. We have a separate DNS for this application also. We need to take this DNS. We need to update in the frontend. Okay. So go to searching the frontend. Go to search. Okay. Here you have. Okay, you need to update here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So once the infra pipeline is completed, so go here, browse. So you can able to see your application. Okay. Function is up and running, but we don't have specific routes, right? So slash, but it won't respond. Why? Because you already integrated to front end. Okay. So this application will be accessed from via static web app only. Okay. Yeah. So right now, so we have completed front-end pipeline. So where all the users are published. Okay. So now come to front-end. So infra pipeline is completed. Now come to front-end pipeline. So this will build and publish the artifact to static web app. Okay. So I already told you static web app. The process is standard for static web app. So this will be triggering when a change is detected on front end. After that, this is the secrets where the static web token will be saving. Okay, this is the Azure pipeline. This is the build stage. This is the deploy stage for front end. Okay, so this will building your application npm install npm run build. Okay, this will publishing your artifact. Okay, this will publishing your artifact. Okay, so deploy stage where it will be downloading your generated artifacts. This command will be helping to deploy to a static web app. Okay, where it will be having static web app program. Okay, yeah, this is a Vita flavor. Okay, in React.js there are multiple flavors. Is there? Vita is one of the flavor. Okay, so so once you will try to create the pipeline, so pipeline will be automatically, so it will be creating and it will be deploying your application. Okay, you can see the logs. So this is the, so installing the dependencies. Okay, installing and building your application. So publishing your artifacts to publishing your artifact in your local pipeline. So with the deploy command, that will build files will be downloading. Okay, the help of this one. So uploading to your corresponding static web app. Okay, here you can visit this one portal. Okay, so it will open this one. Okay, so now we have completed the CI pipeline, front end pipeline. So you can able to access the front end pipeline, but you can't process the data. Okay, so now we require backend pipeline. Okay, so this will deploy the artifacts to function app. Okay, so you already written your code, right? You have function app code, right? So this code you need to deploy in app services. Okay, so how we need to deploy? So for that purpose, I have written a pipeline, CD pipeline, sorry, backend pipeline. So in the variable section, you need to give the function app name. Okay, this is the my function app name. Okay, so when a change is detected in functions, so this will be triggering. Yeah, so we have, this is the pipeline. So this will be check the Python version. So just steps only. So this will zipping your function apps. Okay. So nothing but changing function app directory and creating the virtual environment. Okay. Then after that, it activating that. So after that, it will be installing your required packages. Okay. So installing required tools, not tools. It's called packages only. So here, these are the some packages you require. So that will be installing. That will be installing. Okay. So that will be installing. After that, it will be deactivating. After that, so it will remove that specific folder. After that, it will be zipping that file. Okay, so this whole idea is, so it will download all the required dependencies and you need to zip. Okay, so once zip is ready, we need to publish that Azure functions function app to Azure function app name. Okay, so with the help of a service connection, and this type is function app Linux one. This is the function app name. We need to give the function app name and we need to give the zip file. Okay, so it will be uploading the corresponding zip file to your app function apps. Okay, so that having the associative story account. So it is having associative story account where all data will be stored. So if you it will be executing some task, so that processed data also you can check in the Azure story account. So the story account you can't see data directly, but in the Azure function app you can able to see all Azure functions. Okay, these are the Azure functions we have. Okay, like this you need to create a front end and you need to create a back end pipeline. Okay, so that will process your data. Okay, so now all the things are completed. Now all the things are completed. So let's test some part. Okay, so bus booking. Okay, let's change this name and test how the pipeline will be triggering. Okay, so it's like a end to end testing. So go to front end. Go to app that this is the main file. So bus booking. Add any, so any, so let's make some any bus booking. Yeah, Unibus. Is this a brand? Bus or else Abibus. Okay, just looking save. Okay, so this will be triggering automatically. Name added. Okay, go to pipelines. Let's observe the pipelines, how to whether it is triggering or not. So till now it is not triggered. Let's wait some time. Yeah, pipeline is triggered automatically. So when a change is detected, this front-end pipeline will be triggering. Okay. So this will take some time. You can check the logs of this one. Yeah. So in the build stage, you can see. So it is generated the artifacts. Okay. It is generated the artifacts. So now it is deploying. It is publishing with this name. Okay. So this will be deploying. Okay. Now it is uploading. So once it is deployed, then we can able to see changes in the front end. Okay. Okay, here you can see the status. So done zipping app artifacts. Okay. Yeah. So now it is uploaded. Okay. Exiting. So the job is completed. So let's go to the portal. So this is the portal, right? So refresh this. Here you go. Abhi bus booking. Okay. So where you can click, you can pass any data. But whatever you have passed the data, it won't get. Why? Because so I given only single day. Okay. So by default it will be getting the same day. Okay. SRS ticket bus. Okay. So I try to click that one. So you can select. Yeah, I selected hold. That means in real time applications, you will get the passenger details. Okay. So once you enter the details, confirm on book. So it will go to separate page. Okay. Then you need to pass the credit card details to book. There is a payment module is there separately. Okay. Now identity created. So with this, booking is completed. Okay. So after that, I will cancel. I would like to cancel my ticket. Okay. So canceling. Okay, booking cancellation is completed. So now you observe that. So I have done search, I have done hold, I have done seat selection, I have done hold, I have booked the ticket, I have cancelled the ticket. These four APIs are I have hitting. So let's go to backend and we re-verify. Yeah, sorry. Just cross check whether the functions are processed correctly or not. Okay. So let me go here. So book. Let's verify the logs. Yeah. Connecting to app insights. That's why. So live, you require live logs. Okay, this will be coming all the logs. There will be some tab is there where you will get all the live process. Okay. Here you can see multiple hits. So for booking, so here you have five two. So now I will try to book. So then you can able to check the logs here. Okay, operation ID. Okay. What is this one? Book, right? Okay. So now I have selected hold, confirm and book. Okay, book ID is completed. Okay. So now go to here, refresh. Yeah, refresh to reflect all the things. Sometimes it will take some time to reflect. Let's close this and let's open so that it will be refreshing. Yeah, this one. Yeah, here you go. So here you can see. So 5 4. That means that the slash book function is working as expected. Okay. Timestamp and you can see all the details. So the main intention of this part is so how the functions will be interacting with static web app. Okay. So the same we are able to see how to check the logs. Okay. So to reflect your changes, it will take some time. Here you need to update, right? So this data should be again processed to story account. The executed function, the data also need to store in Azure story account. Okay, it is not opening. Check this one. Okay. So function executing function code using function was programmer called via. Okay. So this you can see the function is called because so it is processed by host API. Okay, fine. So like this, if you need a complete lags, there is a some more option is there. Code and test. Yeah, no, this is not integration. Okay, this is integration function is no no to okay logs. No, there is a separate log function is there. So where you can check all the logs. Yeah, connecting to application instance. So from here you can able to check all the Azure functions. Okay. Yeah, cancel. Yeah, you can cancel. Yeah. So I have performed a cancel function, right? So here you can see live stream or live stream. So executing function dot cancel. This function was programmably called. Okay, that means this function is executing successfully as expected. So that data will be coming from front end, and you can able to cross check like this. Okay. So with that we confirm that so Azure functions are working as expected. Okay. Okay, like this, Azure functions will be integrated with the front-end APIs. Okay, front-end applications. Okay, you can have multiple functions. We have function apps. Okay, the data will be storing in Azure storage account. So Azure pipelines to help us to build and deploy our application is Azure static web app and function apps. Okay, so this is how we need to build end to end. Huh? Okay, thank you. So now we have completed our front end and back end. Next, we will clean up our pipeline. We can delete the pipeline so that all the resources will be deleting. Six, application deployment integration. So we have deployed infra pipeline. So that will provision all your resources. After that, we deploy front end and back end application. Okay, front end will be deploying static web app. Backend is deployed in Azure function apps. Okay, end-to-end testing. We already made a change and it will be reflecting in the front-end UI. Okay, so here you can see. So we already made a change. So we already built this application, and also we already checked the logs of each function. Okay, this is the live stream. So if you need logs, go to log specific. You need to go to specific log, and there you can cross check. Okay, this is how we need to build the application. We need to build this project. The main intention of this project is to create Azure functions and how to utilize in the APIs in the front ends. Okay, so with this we have completed our project. So now we need to clean up our pipeline. Okay, let's see how to delete all the resources. Okay, yeah, this will delete all your resources. Okay, rename this one, clean up. Yeah, this will delete all your resources. Okay, so quickly revamp what we have done. So we have developed a front-end and back-end application. So we have created Terraform code. So we have created Azure pipelines. Okay, with the help of that one, we deploy all the resources. So we have created a static web app services, functions, and storage accounts. Okay, so we have learned how to write the Python code. Okay, so with this, you have completed this project. Okay, thank you, Prasanna Kumar, DevOps Technologies. Okay, thank you.